What's up? Welcome back to the Todd Partnership. I am Xander Todd,
And I am Jennifer Todd.
and today we are going to talk about fear and the different forms that it pops up in our lives and our different experiences, how we dealt with it back then and how we deal with it now. I think fear is one of those things that it can really suck the joy out of your life.
Oh, yeah.
It can really keep you away from your destiny, your dreams, and yeah, we just want to talk about it today.
Definitely the key to being mediocre.
Yeah, definitely the key to being mediocre and not taking chances. It's a whole bunch of ways though fear can pop up.
Oh, yeah.
And so as we was thinking about this topic, we were thinking about different times in our lives where fear was huge and the negative effects that it had on that situation that we could have avoided if we could have recognized what fear was doing. So for me, I feel like fear is always a negative voice in your head. So when I look back, when I look back on a moment where a lot of fear crept in was when I got laid off from a job. I was working for Atmos Energy, and we had just had Aiden, and they were cutting people loose, like laying people off because of a lawsuit that they were going through or something. So I hadn't. What? Go ahead.
You telling the story. I'll let you tell it.
I hadn't been working there for as long as some of the other people. So I was one of the first like rounds of layoffs, I guess. But yeah.
Okay. It came totally unexpected.
Yeah, it was totally unexpected because I just got a promotion.
Yeah. That was big.
Yeah, I just got a promotion and
So we were expecting more money.
Yeah, more money and even more freedom because the promotion I had would have gave me a company vehicle, and I would have spent more time with my family. I didn't have to go into the office as much. So it was crazy because that day I came in like any other normal day, and they called me into the office, and I thought, okay, they're gonna let me know when I can start my new position.
You was waiting on your
Yeah, and then I saw HR and everybody in there, and then I didn't see nobody in the office either. So apparently they were laying people off before I got there, or people got word of it. And so on the way home, like fear just flooded. Like I'm talking about, my mind was running 1,000 miles a minute, like because we just had Aiden, and I didn't know how to. This was earlier in our marriage, so I didn't know how to break news to you, like about something like that. Like it was just more.
It was either the first year of our marriage or early in the second.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but it was early in the marriage, and I hadn't had to break news to you like this at all, like disappointing news like this, and I just didn't know how you would react. I didn't know how. I just didn't know anything. Like I just didn't know how I pay my bills. Like at that moment, you just think that everything is over, and like looking back at it now, it's like, man, that wasn't as bad as I made it out to be. But one thing I would say is that fear caused me to stress way more, and and like when I get stressed, I don't eat, I don't sleep well. I know it's bad for my health, and it causes you not to think clearly. Like, and I still remember that day, like everything to that day. I remember, like, should I wait till I get home to tell you? Should I call you? Like, yeah, it was crazy. But one thing that I would say about that situation is that, like, you didn't handle it. You handled it very, very well. compared to like what I thought you were gonna handle it in your mind. Like you handled it very well. Like, and then my son being able to, I came home early, of course.
Like before lunch.
Yeah, before lunch. It happened early. Actually, I think I stayed out a little more just to like get my head together because it happened early in the morning. Like, at least they didn't have us work the whole day and tell us. But yeah, another point of fear for me was starting a business, like not knowing what to expect. And then here's the thing too, man, that I learned about fear. When you stop thinking about what other people are thinking about you in your situation, like you free yourself from fear a lot. Like it gets easier. I don't know how to explain it better, but it's just way easier to take out what people think about you in the decisions that you're making. Yeah. So what was a time that like fear was like crippling?
I think so. When we first had our son, we went and spent like a week at my mom's house, and she like helped me, just kind of like in becoming a mom, like just like the rhythm of how my days would go, and like feeding the baby. She gave me a break to sleep. You know, you like have help. People are like there holding the baby and feeding them and everything. So like after that week was up and we went to our house, I like broke down because I was like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing, and I don't have no help anymore, and I gotta keep this baby alive. And I just thought of myself like being taken to jail because my child's gonna be dead, and like
I was working. Like that's one thing at Atmos too. I was working.
I was there by myself
6 days a week.
I was there by myself. I think that was probably part of it too, because I knew he wasn't gonna really be there to help me once we got home. So like all my help was gone.
And the job I had, I was walking like 10 miles, 10, 20 miles a day. Like, and yeah.
So it was just in my mind, it was like so rough, but it actually like. It wasn't that bad taking care of baby by myself, but it was new. It was something like you said, it was unknown. And so like I was freaking out. Like I'm not even a crier, but like I was crying that day. And my husband, I know he probably was like, he don't know what is in this house, because I know he never seen me cry like that. Or like yell, or like throw a tantrum and stuff. Like it was bad, and I was like, I still don't really know who that person was that day, because I don't do that, and so it was just like all the way out of character for me.
With me being the type of person I am, like I've read a lot of, I've just researched a lot, so I remember those days. I remember researching like what's it called, postpartum depression and stuff like that. So I was always looking for signs and just trying to do the best I can. Like I don't think I said a lot. I just tried to get Aiden when I could and let you rest.
Yeah, it was just really that one day.
But one of the things that, like, as you were talking, I was thinking about all my fears, and I think some of your fears were based off other people putting their experiences into our mind. Like, whether it's somebody close to you, or whether it's the themes we see on TV or something like that. Like, when you lose your job, it's like all despair.
Right.
And, like, it's going to be rough. Like, that's what the TV shows tell you, and that's what people tell you. Like, man, it's going to be rough, and, you might get kicked out of your house, lose everything. And then like with you, like with the baby, it's like the same type of tropes in TV shows and stuff like that, where it's just super crazy. You never gonna get no sleep.
Right.
You ain't the same person no more. So, man, I mean, just talking it out right now, man, a lot of fears are learned. Like that's what most people say. Like fears are learned. Like. And it's based off other people's experiences and opinions.
Yeah, and like when we actually did go through it, it wasn't that bad.
No.
Like you had a part-time job.
Yeah.
So you got to spend more time with your son.
Yeah.
And then
the bills were getting
I
paid.
worked more, or maybe I didn't.
I think
we just kind of shifted the hours I worked because I had my own business.
Yeah.
And then we got to spend time with each other more.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And I think we went on a trip. Did we go on? We went
to Memphis. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we did a lot.
It freed up a lot of time. Like now that I think about it, like
our bills got paid.
Yeah.
We ate. Like we still here.
One of the things I learned from that experience was that, and this is something I just have to keep telling myself, is that even when it's the worst, it's still like something you can look back on once you go through it and be like, man, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So trying to take yourself out of yourself to realize that this situation isn't as bad as I think it is, even though it hurts really bad right now. Like, I'm not trying to downplay that. Like, what people go through or what we went through was just light. Yeah. But once you look back at it,
it was a lot of fights.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it really broke me down to realize what I needed to do in my life moving forward. Because I had this thing where I needed to be the provider, which I should be, but it was like, I need to make more money. I need to make sure that everything is taken care of on my own power. So I had this, you know what I'm saying?
I'm listening.
I just had this mentality where I should be able to take care of everything. And I wasn't leaning on the Lord as much.
No.
Because I was like, I just got to do it. I just got to do it. And I still struggle with that today, just knowing that I have help and like I have hope that I do have to work hard, but me working hard doesn't equal like success. It's understanding like where I'm going. If that makes sense.
Understanding where you're going is what?
Like whether it's in my business, with my family, understanding where I'm going and the help that I have, like with the Lord and stuff.
Okay.
So
like just resting in the fact that He's gonna help you.
Yeah.
To get there.
And like, yeah, understanding, and then understanding like the principles, man. Like understanding that fear can't help me in a situation. So like that's one of the things that I want to talk about. You see what your thoughts were on too. Like, do we need fear? Is fear necessary? Do you think there's
I don't think so.
Why do you say that?
I feel like I was taught that fear was like a protective mechanism in our bodies and our minds. Like in school, I feel like
fight or flight.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But I'm like, the less fearful you are, you can just stand up to whatever is going on or make a more rational decision of what you need to do to be safe.
Yeah.
Or protect yourself. Like, I think it's just a distraction.
Yeah.
Some people, like, they can't do nothing.
Do you think it's a way to get rid of fear? Where you won't have fear at all? Because I have some theories about fear.
I think that fear is an imposter. Like, they're never invited to the party, but they always gonna try and show up. Just like there's a bouncer at the club, like for the people who are not supposed to be in there, they keep them out. I think that's how you have to be with fear. Like, I think like it's always gonna try and come in.
That's a good way to look at it.
But you gotta just be like, no, you don't fit, what we doing here, so you can't come in.
I think, yeah, that's a great way to put it because, like we were saying, I think fear is what people put on you. I think people put fears on you.
They do.
Like whether they know it or not.
We were gonna have a baby. They were like, "Oh, y'all gonna be up all night."
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
kids so expensive. Y'all not gonna have no money. Not gonna be able to do nothing. Like, we have never had anything better than our kids. Like, our kids have really been a great blessing. They slept through the. They are very good kids. They slept through the night. Like, we didn't have none of those issues that them people was talking about.
Our first child, Aiden, was super independent.
Well, yeah. I mean, both of them.
Yeah, both of them are. But I think Amaya, we had to hold her a little more. But it wasn't bad because I want to hold my kids. Yeah. But I'm saying Aiden, even then, like, we held him. But, like, when he laid down to go to sleep, he went to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, Aiden didn't.
He did.
Aiden didn't play.
He just did his thing.
But, yeah, like, people, man, I was getting so much, like, from people that are close to me. Like, how, I don't think, they weren't saying how horrible it was going to be, but they were saying all the craziest stuff that could happen.
Yeah, like, basically, I remember one thing very vividly, that kids is going to put a monkey wrench in, like, what you trying to do in life. Yeah. And I was like, what?
Almost like they were saying your life is over.
Yeah.
Once you have kids. But for me, I mean, the reason why we call this the partnership is because, I mean, you're my partner. Like, we build stuff together. We accomplish and conquer things together.
Right.
Like, my kids, like, I love them and I'm going to nurture them and I'm going to feed into whatever they're passionate about. But they're part of the conquest too. Yeah. Like, that's my legacy. So, like, they help build the...
They only contribute.
Yeah, they only contribute. They don't take away. But, yeah, what I think about fear, I think that fear, man, it kind of messed me up now because the way you said that, like a bouncer at the door, that's pretty good. But I think fear, I think everybody will experience fear. I think what makes people mediocre and average and great is being able to understand fear. I think that's the biggest, like, when you see somebody that does something great, they understand fear.
They know how to identify it.
Yeah, they know how to identify it and they know where to put it.
Yeah. So,
I remember hearing this quote a lot, but I don't know who to contribute it to, but it's saying do everything afraid.
Do it afraid.
Yeah. And I understand that because anything you do new, and like you said, that's our natural instincts to, like, protect. And fear is one of those mechanisms used to protect and to cause you not to do something because your brain doesn't understand what you're trying to do. So it says, well, I'd rather be safe than try something new. But all the great people that have ever accomplished anything was able to overcome that.
I think it's definitely related to comfort. Like, your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because even with you just saying that, like, you were having fear creeping when you were wanting to start a business.
Yeah.
And, like, you would rather be comfortable in the routine that you already have than to have to stretch.
I think that would have killed me, though. Like,
what?
Like, I think the comfort would have killed me.
Well, it might.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I think that's the preference that we have naturally. Like,
and that's the
status quo.
That's the thing, too. Like, when you understand fear and what you were saying about being comfortable, it is comfortable, like, I guess, in the immediate, but in the long run, it can kill you.
Yeah, it will.
Like,
I think it's
if it doesn't kill you physically, like, we talk about comfort foods. I just think about an example of comfort foods. We do that because, well, people use comfort foods as a way to relax because they're stressed and
it's a
maybe fearful or something. But that comfort food is usually, I don't know, all the comfort food I think about is bad.
High calorie.
And it'll kill you.
Yeah.
And it, like,
high cholesterol comes from that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that I do think that fear has a benefit.
Okay.
I think the benefit of it is when you start to experience it, you almost like it's a part of you, and I'm starting to hear this voice more. It's a part of you that says, I must pursue it now.
Okay.
Like, if I'm so scared of it right now, there means that there's something on the other side that I need. And I think that's a part of you may experience this because you always had your own business, but especially being in like an entrepreneur, like understanding that, man, this opportunity is I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's on the other side, but I'm excited about it because I have so much reservation that from past experiences, I know that it must be something good on the other side.
Right.
I don't know. That's why I'm the way I'm looking at fear.
I think fear is also connected to exposure in all essence of the word. Cause I even think about like, okay, like in the wild, like being exposed, like maybe during camping trip to the elements, but also like even for me doing videos, like when I do videos, I'm more exposed.
Shoot, yeah.
And like that's tough.
What we doing right now?
Yeah.
Is
because like you are exposed. You are open to criticism. You're open to attacks.
Yeah.
From different things. Like it's just
I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like I wanted to do this podcast with you like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know? And that was some subconscious fear that I had about, like you said, criticism, or is it gonna be the greatest? Or man, perfection that's another topic, man. But
it all goes on.
Yeah, it all goes with it. Like procrastination is some symptoms of fear. Perfectionism, like that's just you being fearful
of rejection.
Yeah, of rejection. And not feeling like you have the adequate skills or equipment. That's fear. Like all of it is just rooted in fear. Yeah. And so as we come to a close, like what do you think, how do you deal with fear now? When it creeps up in your head, how do you deal with fear today?
I'm gonna be honest, like I haven't totally conquered it. And I guess in my mind I just say, I know I need to do this, or I need to confront this, just maybe not today.
I think, you know what helped me with fear today? And this is like recently. That's why I bring this topic up, because I've been really thinking about it. I don't think you'll ever conquer fear. I think it's something that's always going to be there. But the more you smash it, the more you push through it and conquer different things, I think you understand fear's place. I think fear has a place.
I can see
but
that.
It's not where we usually put it. Fear shouldn't be the determining factor. Fear should be that thing in the corner that even motivates you.
Yeah, I kind of see it as a barrier now.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there's something that I need to do or I want to do, and fear is laying right there in between.
Yeah. I mean, you made a good point, like scientifically, about fight or flight with fear. It's because we never experienced what we're trying to do. But man, everybody talking about leveling up or getting to the next level or like next stage. You're always gonna have like that's where it's gonna. That's the barrier that you talked about. The barrier before you step into the next level is fear.
It is.
Because you don't know, like, but the faster you attack it, though, I think the faster you can overcome it.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm with you. It's nothing. I'll never say that I'm not fearful of anything. I would say that I understand that it's there, but I'm still going to push through and smash it. Yeah.
It's always going to be there.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. It was a short podcast, but I mean, fear is pretty much self-explanatory. I think we all deal with it, and hopefully this helps somebody to understand it more. And let us know in the comments if you have a fear that you can't, or no, let me rephrase that. Is there a fear that you can look back on that you thought was huge, but now it was so small, like when I got laid off or when we had our son? Yeah. So that's it for this week, and that's what I mean. It was a shorter podcast this week.
Yeah, but I think we kind of touched on a lot. Like, I think it has, some things that people can take away and really apply towards busting through fear.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments a time that you felt fear really big, but when you look back on it, it wasn't that bad. And let's just tackle fear, like understand that we have to run through it and not succumb to it.
Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when our videos hit the internet, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.